Hello and welcome to Matrix Live. My guest today is Krishan. He is many things for Cinny, but I think it's fair to call him designer and product manager for Cinny. He's doing a lot of the work here. He's coming here to talk about the latest development in the gorgeous client Cinny. If you are following Matrix Live, you know it is a client I love. Krishan, welcome. Welcome back to Matrix Live. So,
Thank you so much.
So since the last time, you have released Cinny 4.3, 4.4, and 4.5. That was in the past 3 weeks. You maybe have released more minor releases since the last time. That's a lot of activity and plenty of cool things to cover. Maybe we can start by the beginning and probably one of the most prominent changes, the redesigned app settings. So can you show us how it looks like?
First of all, thanks Steve, for having me here. I'm really excited for this Matrix live release. And so let me share my screen for the new setting. So this is how it used to be in the old design. We used to have these horizontal tabs in the settings, and if I share you the new one, this is this is how it looks now. So there are a lot of things that you can see that have changed. It's more streamlined now. It seems more organized than before. And the previous settings were like designed before we had the design system. And over time, they started to feel a bit of out of sync from the rest of the interface. And we also found that having the horizontal tabs make it difficult when you want to add more tabs in the setting. So we had to make them vertically stacked. And the device management, for example, if I go to devices, it was bit of outdated because it was implemented when we built Cindy for the first time, and it didn't have the new features like automatically downloading the encryption keys and things like that. So this design was to make all of those things better and to have a same feel as of the rest of the app.
Right, I really like the new design, and I especially the devices bit. If I compare that to Element Web that I'm used to, the devices section here on Element Web looks quite messy, and I like how tidy everything is on Cine. Um, what didn't work in the previous iteration? Was it a matter of having too simple settings or things not properly defined enough?
Yeah, previously it was more of having having uh, two things for encryption. For example, if you want to verify a new session, you first have to compare emojis, and then you have to download the keys manually. It was not automatic. So those were things that created a lot of issues for the users because they just knew that we have to verify the device. They didn't know that they have to download the keys. So that got fixed now. So if you just verify a device, the keys are downloaded automatically. And we have just one tab for all of the encryption features for the devices. So, so all of the encryption features are attached to a device name, as I just showed you in the screen share.
All right, and I could see in the changelog as well that you harmonized the language for everything encryption to follow the specification as well.
Yeah,
Right, so thanks a lot to the crypto team, by the way, working on everything cryptography for finally making it clear because it used to be a bit of a mess to try to understand
yeah,
what was what in Matrix. I could see when you were sharing your screen, there was a tab in the settings about emojis. And in the changelog, I could see that personal emojis can now be imported in bulk. Um, is personal emoji support a new feature on in Cine, or was it something you already supported?
Well, personal emojis have been part of Cindy for a while, but the process to import them was a bit of tedious. You had to import them one by one. now we have made it much easier to upload multiple emojis at once. For example, if you want to bring your emoji back from Telegram or Discord, you can just simply select all of the emoji files and they will be uploaded in once. But this is still missing in space setting and room setting. This feature just only for personal emoji, but upcoming release we will make the same kind of setting in the room setting and space setting as well.
All right, excellent. And there is another tab that caught my attention. It's the developer tools. So I'm used to the developer tools in Element because I'm sometimes doing support for communities. So I like to be able to inspect the state events of the room, well, the state of the room, or to be able to send state events as well when needed. What can you do in Cinny with the developer tools?
Well, yeah, developer tool is definitely a cool feature. I also use it a lot, and that's how we plan to implement it in Cinny as well. But currently in Cinny's developer tools, you can only inspect the account related stuff. For example, only notification setting or encryption setting only related to the account itself, not related to space or room.
Okay.
So those features are not available, like inspecting the room timeline or state events. But we are planning to add them in the future.
Uh,
So
All right, so for people who might not be familiar, the data in Matrix, you can have account data, which is all the data stored on your own home server. That is everything about your own account. Then for each room, you have all the timeline with the various events. And then you have for each room also the state events that we could say are the configuration events or hidden events in the room that you cannot necessarily see with a client. And developer tools can be useful to change that and have a bit of impact behind the scenes. I also saw in the changelog that you added captions. So what are the captions and what kind of media can I send that support captions with Cine?
well, captions are text representation of the media to make it more accessible to the every user of the Cine. So right now it only support rendering the caption that are sent from other clients that support adding caption. But we are working on how we can add caption on multiple files. For example, when we added these captions, a rendering of them, uh, the user who added them just wanted to uh, make it make add one caption to all of the file. If, for example, if you upload multiple files, so we are designing the, for example, UI on how we can add the caption to different files individually and then upload them in one. So you will have option to add caption to all of the files like image, video, or audio file. But right now it only supports rendering them.
All right, which is a good thing because you could miss the captions if your client doesn't support it, so you can miss a part of the message. Another important change was the move from libOwn to Vodosimatch, which means you moved from the crypto library that was written in C to the crypto library that is written in Rust, that has been audited and that receives the full attention from Element and Element's security team. Was the switch easy to make from you, switching from libOwn to Vodosimatch?
Well, it was definitely a big shift. It
Yeah.
took us more than 3 months to,
Wow.
yeah, because we need to figure out what option got deprecated and what are the new options for those deprecated ones. But it was pretty easy in terms of attaching the new crypto library to the client because of the Element team who have already implemented all of the bits into JSSDK, which we also use for the Cine. So we want to thank this Element team for uh, making the work easier for us by implementing all of the stuff in the JSSDK.
Yeah, really love to see the power of open source in action. You have a team working on something, and then all the other projects can reuse it to get better security in
Yeah,
their
in
own
the
project.
process, we also found some few bugs and we already fixed them, which will be released soon.
Right, so the power of open source in action as well. You can benefit from the work of upstream, and then you see problems and can get them fixed upstream, and everybody benefits from that. Thank you very much for that. In the changelog, I could also see that you added the option to hide typing in red receipts. Is it something that people have been asking for a while in Cinny? Do you have a privacy-minded community as the users of Cinny?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of users, including myself, wanted to have an option to hide their typing or read receipt, and it was one of the most requested feature on our GitHub repository. So it's now simply a toggle which you can enable, and you won't see others' receipt, and others won't see yours. So, so the feature was stuck on the issue that should we hide incoming receipt as well, or should we hide only sending? So we gone with the hiding both, so that we do not kill the read receipt feature. So if somebody want to see others read receipt, they enable there as well.
All right. This is a feature I really like. Well, I have a dual relationship with that because on one hand, I remember the governing board member, Greg, who is a friend of mine, who said that one of the things that made conversations very lively in Matrix was seeing all the red indicators fall from the top. And you see it looks much more vibrant. But at the same time, when you are really using Matrix for nearly everything, you don't necessarily want to give the information to people that you have read their message, because I really don't like to read a message, see mark the message as read, and people to be like, and now answer me, because I'm
Yeah,
going to answer later. And I think Cinny is doing a very good job with the inbox feature that we have covered in a previous Matrix Live. With the by hiding read receipts, now I can not show that I have read a message, and I can go to the inbox later to answer the message later. I think this is
yeah.
something very important that Matrix is still struggling with. So Cinny is doing a first good job at that. I would like to see more of that in the specification and in all the clients, because having a proper inbox supported across devices on Matrix would be so brilliant and would solve so many of my problems. You mentioned earlier, the design system. I have a question about how people can contribute, and I think a good way to contribute is first to know what you are trying to do. So where can people go if they want to try Cine, if they want to read the documentation about Cine, if they want to see the design system and see if there are important issues they can tackle?
Well, if you want to try Cinny, you can simply visit to the Cinny.in website, or simply go to app.cin.in to try the web app. We also have instruction on our GitHub repo to self-host if you want to self-host. And if you want to contribute, you can visit our GitHub repository, uh, where we have all of our repo for design system, for desktop app, and for the web app. And we are a uh, bit of restrictive on the design system changes, because we want to have a unified look all over the app. But you can discuss if the changes are good or not, and that will be accepted if the changes are good.
That sounds like a very sane approach to it. In open source, we often have the too many cooks problem, in the sense that everybody want to have their say and think they know the solution. When in practice, proper design is actually, well, it requires expertise and to do very informed changes before you make them land in the project. So really appreciate that Cine has that maturity. Do you have plans to sell support for Cine if people were interested in that?
Well, we are not selling support at this moment, and we are open to ways of offering more professional services for organization. Uh, if We haven't been approached by any organization, so there is no such thing, such process exists yet. But we are open to it, and we will look if anybody approach.
Okay, so if somebody wants to get support for Cine, the best venue for that is to open an issue
To
on GitHub.
message through or GitHub or our email.
Okay, all right. Fantastic. Is there anything else the world should know about Cinny?
Well, we want to make metrics better for everyone. We want always looking to improve, and we want Cinny to be best place for the people who want to care about privacy, design, and security. And everybody's welcome to
Oh,
contribute.
all right. Thank you very much. And I see you next week, Matrix Live.
Thank you.